Hey guys, how's it going? Hope everybody's healthy and safe. I'm Erin Paula Thompson. I'm the interim executive director here at the Poe Museum. Behind me is Chris Sempner, our curator, and he is holding Pluto. The garden right now is absolutely stunning, so we're very excited to reach out to you at home or wherever you are, at least 6 feet away from someone, and show you what we have going on. So I'm going to turn the screen around, and Chris is going to start the tour.
Well, we're sorry we couldn't be open right now for you, but this is the next best thing. We really wanted to give you a chance to see the garden, since right now the cats are the only ones who have a chance to enjoy it. But this museum opened 98 years ago, and it opened around this garden. The whole idea was that this would be a living, breathing Poe poem. So here we have the first stanza of his poem, "To One in Paradise." If you haven't heard that one, it's okay, nobody's ever read that one. But it starts out, "Thou wast it all to me, love, for which my soul did pine, a green isle in the sea, love, a fountain and a shrine, all wreathed in fairy fruits and flowers, and all the flowers are mine." So we've got a fountain, a shrine, a green isle down the middle. And when they created this garden, the idea was that all the hardscaping would come from different buildings associated with Poe. We're looking at bricks here from the Southern Literary Messenger Office, where Poe began his career in journalism. They're under our feet, they're in the walls. There's also bricks out here from Poe's homes, from the place he got married, from his boyhood home, from his adult home. And also, all the plants would have significance. The poem did say, "All the flowers were mine." So the founders of the museum said, let's use plants from Poe's poems and stories. Whenever possible, get plants from places Poe actually lived or worked or had associations with. And the best example has to be the ivy right here. This was growing on Poe's mother's grave up at St. John's Church. They transplanted it here, I like to believe, with some of the soil from the grave. We didn't get her body. She's still up at St. John's Church, but at least we got the ivy that was...
Hi Mel, good to see you.
I want to show you some of these different flowers that Poe mentions in his poems and stories.
Hi Lisa.
And I'm not a horticulturalist. I don't know anything about flowers. So if you have a question, go ahead and post it on there. And if you have the answer, go ahead and post that on there too. Even if it's wrong, we won't know the difference. And I'm going to show you tulips here. We are going to have a lot of tulips blooming really soon. You'll see some really great examples back here, but they're going to be in all different colors, yellow and orange and red, black, striped.
Thank you to our volunteers, Katrina and Anne Marie, who planted close to 300 bulbs last fall.
Yes, they'll be bursting up everywhere. It's going to be an explosion of color in just a few weeks. So hopefully, if you can't come back, we're bringing you back here for that. And he mentions tulips in his poems and stories. The stories that come to mind are the Island of the Fae and the Domain of Arnheim. And here's bluebells. He mentions those in his poem Al-Araf, one of his very early poems. And if anybody ever asks you, that's his longest poem.
Look who's there.
And that's Pluto the cat helping me out. And these are just some of our roses. You have to use your imagination now. So
hi Britt.
I want to
hi
create
Beth.
a word picture. This thing's going to be covered in flowers pretty soon. Back there, more rose bushes. We have heirlooms that were designed in the 1840s, the 1920s. Right now, we've got leaves. But trust me, we're going to have roses everywhere. In his poem to Helen, the second one, he talks about the upturned face of a
hi,
thousand
Lori.
roses which grew in an enchanted garden.
Hey Gina.
So
hi
that's why
Red.
we call this the enchanted garden. Oh, look here, right down here, some hyacinth. And we've got all sorts of hyacinth around here. Just fills the air with the beautiful smell of it. Poe mentions this in his poems to Dante and in the first to Helen. Her hyacinth hair, her classic face, her naiad airs have brought me home to the glory that was Greece and the grandeur that was Rome. So imagine Helen's hair all curly like the flowers of the hyacinth. And down here, pansies. And Poe mentions pansies and roses and myrtle in his poem for Annie. And the pansies, just like the myrtle and the roses, symbols of love. So this is a love poem. Of course, it's a Poe love poem, so lots of good depth in it. And APT wants anybody who knows what these are to go ahead and post that right there. And in Poe's day, they also called
Hi, Jesse. Hi, Mom.
periwinkle myrtle. So we've got some periwinkle blooms down here. You can see tucked away. There's some periwinkle right down there. And this is something, again, you have to use your imagination, but pretty soon, these are oak leaf hydrangeas. So these are going to have massive leaves and big blooms coming up this summer. So you don't want to miss out on that. We'll keep you posted when those things bloom. But we've got something that's already blooming. It's a lot bigger than a hydrangea. It's this Chinese photinia. So check it out above our heads. This is typically a shrub, but it loves the microclimate here, so it's just grown up until it's about the size of a tree, and it's covered in the
Hi,
winter.
Janine. Hi, Britt. Again.
The leaves stay all year round. So in the winter, it has little red berries, and in the spring, you get these little flowers everywhere. And I think they smell great. Other people think they smell really, really awful. So if you have your opinion on photinia flowers, whether they smell great or smell just awful, then go ahead and post that on there too. So pretty soon this place is going to be flooded with little white flowers. The dogwoods back there are going to start blooming. This is going to be blooming. And right up here we've got the camellia in just full bloom. It's like it's snow in the middle of the summer and already falling all over, but
sorry, folks, we disconnected for a sec. Looks like we're back on. Will somebody give me a wave so I know we're still here?
So there's one of our camellia, and check this out. This is usually just a nice little bush. You see, we've had to prune it because it basically covered the path. You can hide out underneath this thing and just be completely hidden. And we usually, in the summertime, will see we have a couple of beautiful cardinals, and either they'll have their nest in this tree or in that one over there, so they like the flowers.
Come on, boys. Come on.
Come on, animals. So right down this way, we've got more hydrangeas there. We've got a wall, more building materials salvaged from the Southern Literary Messenger Office and from Poe's foster father's business, the Ellis and Allen firm. We've got back here a bench. The stone they used to make these benches came from Poe's home over on
Debbie.
Bank Street. So right around the corner here.
Debbie, the cats miss you.
And here's a rock. And this is a special kind of rock. Does anybody notice the name Augustus Bedloe? It's not the most common name there. Now, one or two you might recognize that as the character from the story A Tale of the Ragged Mountains, which is one of Poe's stories that's set right here in Virginia at a place you can visit. You can visit the Ragged Mountains near Charlottesville. This rock came from the Ragged Mountains. The guy who owned one of the mountains, he brought it down here, dropped it off, and he had the name Augustus Bedloe carved into it. So this,
Hi, Jennifer.
This little area right here is inspired by the plant life you'll find
Sorry, folks.
in the Ragged Mountains. So Appalachian sorts of things blooming back. Up soon. And check out little berries on here. This is a Mahonia right there. So check out some of the, probably going to almost black over the summer.
I think they look like good olive.
Place that you can visit down Sullivan's Island, South Carolina, and we planted with things that would be typical.
Give me a like, old bug.
Except we had a couple little opportunistic tulips pop up. And this is something that not everybody notices, but we did put this here just as an homage to the gold bug. We have our own little gold bug here. So when you see in person, you have to see if you notice that. We had a hitching post. We had two of them out there. One got hit by a car, so they decided it was much safer to move this back here to save it from the traffic. So that's a little overview of some of the things that are blooming out here right now, and we're going to have even more blooming really soon. As I said before, in just a few more weeks, this is going to be an explosion of color, so we're going to keep you guys updated. So from me and from the Poe Museum cats and APT, I want to thank you for following us, and we hope to